Welcome back to Monday Sports Chat. My name is Jeff Mogiri. We continue here with the discussion that I promised you earlier about boxing. The national women's boxing team is training in Nairobi ahead of the World Women Boxing Championship set for India, New Delhi, next month from the 15th to 31st of March. And in studio, I'm joined by Duncan Korea and Fraser Nyango, all from the BFK, Boxing Federation of Kenya. Duncan, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you for inviting us.
Fraser,
good to have you here.
How are you?
Thank you.
It's been long. When was the last time you saw me?
4 years ago.
She's a young boxer. I've seen her grow. I've done her stories from the moment she began training as a boxer, and she has been training. She went to work. She's a military officer anyway. She's serving. Now she's doing it the first time in the national team. How does that feel?
It feels awesome. I'm so humbled, and I'm so happy to be in the team finally. Yeah.
How is training?
The training is intense, but I've acclimatized with the training. Yes, new coaches, new teammates, but I'm also going hard, so it's fine. It's okay. Yes. Yes, I'm just enjoying.
Duncan, yes. How is training? How are the players coping with the situation now? They've been training for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the training has been very intense because we actually don't have a lot of time to prepare for the World Championship because we know what it takes to participate at the World Championship level. And so the coaches are going out of their way to ensure that our boxers are ready to go and represent the country effectively. So the training is quite tough, but it's always what is expected because when you're going for a major championship like the World Championship, you really have to prepare so that when you go there, you are at your best, since you're going to be competing against some of the best boxers in the world.
It's recent last year that we had the World Championships again in Turkey.
Yes, Istanbul.
And now Istanbul, and now a few months later, we're having another one. That's because of COVID, the disruption of the calendar.
Yes, what happened is that because of the COVID disruption, we had 2 years where we didn't have any of the major championships being held. And you remember, even for the first time in the history of sports, Olympic was postponed because of COVID. So that's what has necessitated the World Championship to be done back to back. So we also had World Championship for men, which was in Belgrade. So this year, again, we are going to have another one in the month of May, 1st to 14th. So that's what has necessitated the International Boxing Federation to try and organize World Championship back-to-back so that we catch up for the lost time during the COVID break.
Right. So Fraser, what is your target in this new team?
Coming home with medals. Yeah, it has always been my passion, my dream first to join the national team, then work with them and with proper training like the ones that they're giving me and training us. I'm sure we'll bring home gold medals. Yes.
Duncan, we have new people in this team. You know, there's been politics about same players, same boxers, doing the same thing for the national team, going out there, coming back empty-handed all the time. And now we have new players. I think 4 boxers are coming in as new blood. What does this mean for the team as Team Kenya, and what does the future look like for this team?
I think the future looks bright. We have some very talented youngsters who are coming up, the likes of Fraser Nyango here. We have also like of Lancer Kinyi in the minimum weight, in the light flyweight. We have Emily Juma in flyweight category. We have her colleague at work, Pauline Chege, also newly recruited to the KDF. She's now in the national team. So I'm thinking we are trying to bring in new blood into the team so that we have some form of continuity, because they are going to be working with some of the experienced boxers, the likes of the Olympians. We have 3 Olympians in the women national boxing team. We have Christine Ongare, we have Elizabeth Diego, and Elizabeth Akinyi. So I'm thinking if these youngsters come and join the team and work with the seniors who have been to the top level of the game, they are going to learn a lot, they are going to gain experience early enough. And I believe if we get adequate exposure, it will give them a very good chance of being able to qualify for this major championship and competing at the highest level. And I believe they are talented enough to go and do well. It's only that sometimes we have the numbers are not adequate in terms of the women and the local league here. So sometimes you find maybe for Freezer, maybe in her weight category, there are only maybe 3. So it's not very competitive. But when you go out there, the girls out there have been very active throughout the year. So you find the competition might a bit tougher, because I believe the more you compete, you gain a lot of experience, you encounter different opponents and you learn how to handle them. So when you only have maybe one competitor here and you know how to beat that one person, then you are always assured of winning, which is not the best situation. And again, now when you come maybe for like, we are just about to start the Olympic qualifying process.
Exactly.
And this time around, the women are very lucky, because for the first time in the history of the sport, we are going to have 50-50 gender parity in the Paris Olympic Games. During the last Olympic Games, we had 186 male boxers and 100 female boxers. But now going to the Paris 2024, we are going to have 124 female boxers and 124 male boxers. What that means is that we are going to have more opportunities for women. Last time we had 5 weight categories for women at the Olympics. This time round, they have been added 1 more weight category. So we are going to have 6 female weight categories and 7 weight. We have 7 weight categories. So the disadvantage I see with that is that in trying to introduce gender parity in boxing, they are reducing the number of boxers, the male boxers, at the Olympic Games, while increasing the number of women.
You're simply saying.
So you look at it wholesomely. During the Tokyo Olympic Games, we had 286 boxers. But for the Paris Olympic Games, you're going to have 248. It means you have a reduction of about 28 boxers. But now when you look specifically to male boxing, they have reduced the number of male boxers by about 62.
Are you saying they're favoring female? Or there's...
It's not favoring. I'm supporting. I'm for gender parity. But what they should have done, they don't reduce the number of male boxers. They just increase the number of female boxers participating at the Olympic Games. I think that will have been much fairer, because you can imagine 62 is almost a whole tournament that we do here locally. It's a very high number to reduce. And now what has happened is that the weight categories for male have been reduced. So we are only going to have 7. Previously we used to have or maybe I can make you understand, we have what we call IBA weights and Olympic weights. For IBA weights, we have 13 weight categories. But for Olympic weights, we have 7. It means almost half the boxers who compete locally at their respective weights will not be going to the Olympics, or they have to see how they can fit within the 7 weight categories that have been identified as Olympic weights. But
you see, IOC has had a problem with the IBA and everybody else who's doing boxing.
Yes.
So it's not a new thing. It's not a surprise, by the way, to me, because I saw it coming. It should have come long time, like in 2020 Olympics, but didn't happen. But now here we are. Freezer, as a boxer, you're joining the national team for the first time.
Yes.
And you have your targets. Probably one of them is going to India and come back with a medal. And probably to make sure that this time around nobody is going to say that you always go out and you don't come with medals. Probably that is something that is on your shoulders now, and you should know it. If you don't know it, I'm telling you, because he knows what people say out there, and he's in one of the groups where journalists shout louder than actions. So you have a responsibility and obligation of doing something out there. But talking about the Olympics, is it one of your targets? Because every athlete wants to go to the Olympics because it's the highest.
Yes, one of my targets. It has always been, actually. Yeah, even 4 years ago, I used to keep this dream of mine alive, and I think when given a chance to go and perform and do my game, I'm absolutely sure that joining the Olympics, I'll play well and bring home a medal.
I understand the professional boxing and amateur boxing are two different things. The rules are different. But I wanted to ask you with a question here. You know, we had somebody who was so powerful. Oh man, you know her, Congestina. So powerful and perfect in whatever she did in the ring. And then it turned out that her life went the way it went, and everyone knows the story. I don't want to talk about it here. But are we seeing women rising to the feet of Congestina?
Yes. Women are rising to the feet of
Apart from
Congestina.
being helped by IOC.
Women wanasimama.
For
Hiyo
how
ni
long?
assurity.
For how long are we going to wait to see another Congestina? Maybe maybe an amateur or professional. For how long are you going to wait? Because we've waited for long.
I'd say soon enough. Soon.
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 Are you going to be
Very
one of
soon.
them?
Yes.
It's so difficult for an athlete, for a boxer, by the way. In a weekend, a boxer can go eat and they add weight in that weekend. They have to fight to cut it from Monday. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but with the heart, it's just perseverance. You just have to go do what you love. Enjoy what you're doing. Just do what you love. Because I love what I'm doing. And so I'm hopeful and I believe that nitafika hapo. Yes.
You've seen her fight from the novices and throughout, and now she's in the national team. What do you make of her?
She's a very talented boxer with a lot of potential. She has a few things that she needs to learn in terms of the technical aspects of the game, how to manage different opponents. But I believe working with the likes of our national team head coach, Musa Benjamin, she's going to learn a lot and she's going to become unbeatable. She is more than capable of representing to the heights of Congestina. And maybe I also think Zarika has been a very good ambassador for women boxing in the country. So I believe she's one of the top contenders if she gets proper training. And I believe with the opportunity that they get from their work in the KDF, she's going to go places.
She's going to get
one of our
places.
stars.
On that note, I'm hoping that my EXO, Makanyimba, is getting the cover shots of this game as they train, as we talk here. So how much of support are you receiving from the government?
The government has always been supporting us fully, because whenever we are going for the international assignments, we take our budgets to the Ministry of Sports and they facilitate us to take our teams for different assignments. I was very happy earlier in the year when we were doing actually last month when we were doing our novices. The Honorable Minister for Sports, Babu Namwamba, came to watch our novices championship. It was very encouraging and it really motivated our boxers. But generally, it's the Ministry of Sports that facilitates us to go for these assignments. And for now, we normally present our budget for the whole year to the ministry. And then we identify the key championships that we are to feature in. And sometimes you have to give explanation on the importance of those championships that you're taking place in. And now, being that we are getting closer to the Olympic qualifying cycle, it's very important that our boxers participate in as many international championships as possible, because they earn points for ranking in their respective weight categories, which are very important. You remember like last time when we went for the Africa Olympic qualifiers in Senegal, we qualified only one boxer. Okay, we got 4 medals, which was 1 silver medal by Nico Koth, and 3 others from Elia Joy, Christine Ongare, and Elizabeth Akinyi.
Yeah.
But now when it came out that when COVID came, we could not be able to hold the world qualifiers. Then we went back to those who won medals at the first Olympic qualifiers, and that's how the ranking comes into play. So Elia Joy and Elizabeth Akinyi qualified by virtue of having won the bronze medals at the first Olympic qualifier, which was held in Dakar, and that's what enabled them to go and compete at the Olympic Games. And for the first time, we had 4 boxers. which was higher than the previous year where we only had 3 and the other one had 2. So it's an improvement for our federation in terms of the numbers they take to the Olympic. But again, now I have a problem with the qualifying system this time round. It's going to be more difficult. Previously, we used, like when we won our Olympic gold medal in 1988, we used to take 12 boxers, all weight categories. But this time round, we have the qualifying system. It has been made even worse because for the first Olympic qualifier, which are going to be the All African Games, which will be in Accra, Ghana, for male, it's going to be only 7 boxers in Africa that will qualify. That's very unfair. Can you imagine a whole continent, 54 countries, only 7 boxers will qualify for the Olympics. When you compare that to last Olympics in Tokyo, we had 22 qualifying during the Africa qualifier. So you can see there's a reduction of 15 places. I don't know how that will work out, because to me it shows me that going forward, it seems for the Paris Olympic Games, we might have the least number of Africans representing the continent in boxing, because of how the qualifying has been done, the pathway. Because now it means after the first qualifier,
Duncan, this pushes you and your technical team on the training to make sure that you have the best quality, to make sure that the training you are giving them prepares them for this big stage. Because out of 54 countries, getting 3 from Kenya will be a long shot.
Yes. Actually, it's only the gold medalists in every weight category that will qualify.
What if we get all of them?
If you get all 7 gold?
Yes.
No, that will be wonderful. That's magical. But you see, again,
she says she wants a gold.
But again now, I want you to see how competitive it is.
Yeah.
Because everybody in Africa is training to go. It's not only Kenya that is training for Olympics. Everybody in Africa is training to go for the Olympics. And so you can see, if all these boxers in Africa are training for the Olympics and the slots that are allocated are only 7, that shows you it's going to be very competitive. And for you to be able to get those tickets, then you need to work extra hard to be able to qualify. The other qualifiers, we are going to have 2 more qualifiers, which are going to be World Qualifier 1 and World Qualifier 2. But for those ones, we are going to have 4 boxers qualifying in each of them, and it's not assured that a boxer in Africa will win, because it's the whole world coming to participate in a tournament, and those who win gold, silver and 2 bronze medals are the ones who will qualify.
Okay.
So it's going to be very competitive, and we really need to be very prepared for it to be able to qualify for the Olympics.
Now that she knows how competitive it's going to be, Fraser, you understand what he's saying?
Yes.
It's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
No, but maybe I correct that. For women, it's going to be 11.
11.
So for those who will get to the
but 11 is still a small
final,
number,
which is gold and silver, and the first qualifier, which is Africa Games.
It's not enough. It's still not enough for me.
Yes.
It's still a small number. But you have to be among the 11 who qualify.
Yeah.
In every weight category, but specifically in your weight, you have to be among the 11.
Yes.
How determined are you to be among the 11?
Fikiria na train enough na the big team na hit squad. Niko na the best coaches, the best teammates, and mimi mwenyewe nina hiyo heart na najua na hii training, all this training najua performance itakuwa poa. Itakuwa poa.
Sugar Ray,
yes.
There has been claims all over the social media, and you know it. You know where I'm coming from, what I'm saying. Every time you've gone to the events and we have been told boxers, men championships, 0 medals. Women championships, 0 medals. Olympic, 0 medals. Same players, same squad all the time. Now we have a different squad. Are we having medals? We're expecting medals from India this time round, because things are different a bit, I can say.
Yeah, I understand that argument, but it's an argument that has been there for a very long time, because at the World Championship level, we have only won 1 medal, which was won in 1978 by Stephen Moshoki. And all through, we have not won any other medal at the World Championship level. And at the Olympic level, we have won 7 medals in boxing. And the last 2 medals we were won in 1988 when Robert Wangila won gold medal and Chris Sande a bronze medal. From there up to now, we have not been able to win any medal at that level. But again, it's not been easy. The landscape is not equal because, like I'm telling you here, I'm telling you that for qualifying for such a tournament, in Africa where we are getting 1 qualifier, in Europe they are getting 5 or 6. So you see, for the first qualifier, when Africa will have qualified 7 boxers, Europe will have more than 50 for the same. So when you are going there, the landscape is not the same because that's a very big difference. But again, now it goes back to, for us to be able to compete at that high level, we really need to pick our top boxers and ensure that we prepare them adequately to be able to compete against the best. Like for when we won the gold medal at the Seoul Olympic Games, Robert Wangila knocked out all his opponents. That's the easiest way to win. But it's not a guarantee that you're always going to knock out somebody out. But when you knock your opponent out, it's much easier because sometimes you compete against somebody you think you have won about, but then the judges do their thing. When the decision is announced, again it goes against you. We had problems. Even what is causing the problem between IBA and the International Olympic Committee is something to do with the officiating. Where in Rio Olympic Games we had a scandal where we had some match fixing done and investigation had been done and found to be true that indeed some officials were doing some matchmaking such that in the morning somebody comes with a list and they decide who is going to win bouts before the boxers get into the ring in the evening. So we have had such problems and we are victims of them. But we are hoping that now that IBA has done a lot of reforms, and we are expecting that during the Olympic Games, where it is the IOC boxing task force that is going to organize the Olympics themselves, not IBA, we are going to have fairness throughout the tournament, and that the boxers are going to be judged according to what they are doing in the ring, not their history or the country they come from. I believe we are going to have fairness, and if we prepare adequately and we have our top boxers going there and believing in themselves and giving their best, I believe we are good enough to go and win medals at these major championships where we have struggled for quite a long time to win medals. But again, it's not just us in Kenya. In Africa, generally, we don't be doing very well at those high levels. Maybe and again, we've competed in less.
Maybe the worst things we don't have the best. Maybe they think they can dominate everything. Maybe they think like we're not worthy. You know, for many years, it's been like that in football. But now you see what FIFA has done.
Yeah.
There are so many teams from Africa going to participate in the World Cup. That's how we sell our talent. That's the opportunity, a window that we can use probably to sell ourselves and get ourselves to another level. So, Frieza, as we wind up, how many medals should we expect from India? Just give us a number. Ningapi, just
13. 13
boxers, everybody is coming back home with a medal. Thank you. As we wind up now, the players are leaving here which day, and probably which day are they supposed to be in the ring?
The tournament starts on 15th, so we expect the team to travel from 14th of March. I believe it's a direct flight to New Delhi.
New Delhi.
But I know the 13th is when we are going to do the entries. There are meetings that are done there to confirm the people who have entered. So before they do the draws, so that you're able to know whom you're meeting and who are the boxers that have turned out. We've had a bit of challenges with even some countries are boycotting the games. I don't know, maybe for political reasons, but for us, we are supporting the International Federation, and I believe we are going to...
Because you don't expect Pakistani to be there, honestly. They can't be there.
I don't know.
They can't be there.
Maybe it's because they've always... No, probably they'll come because this is sport now. When you come to politics, it's now maybe where India and Pakistan might be having their own issues. But no, I believe some of the issues that were coming up was something to do with the decision that was taken by the executive of the International Boxing Association, where they were allowing the Russians and the Belarus boxers to participate with their flags and anthem. And IOC had advised against that decision. So I think there's a decision that was taken immediately the war in Ukraine started, where they were saying that athletes from Russia and from Belarus should not be allowed to participate using their anthem and their flag. So I think there's a problem there, and I think what comes out is now that the president of the International Boxing Association is from Russia. Probably he could have influenced the decision to allow Russia and Belarus to compete. So probably that's how it's being looked at.
Duncan, listen to me, and I'm telling you this, and you will see it happen. Probably if we continue like this, you'll be having boxers from Russia, boxers from Belarus. These are two countries which are helping each other to fight to one country, that is Ukraine. You will see how the Americans will react. You'll see how everybody else will react about this, and the West will obviously detach themselves from the East. And that's how the World Championship for the women in New Delhi will really crumple and struggle to have the best quality of boxers. And that happens in political, it happens in the... It's obvious, and we appreciate it. That's how politics works for them anyway. Thank you, Duncan, and thank you for showing up today. Frieza, thank you, and we wish luck, good luck for you as you go to New Delhi. This will be the first time to be in New Delhi. Go enjoy yourself as you bring us medals. Well, my name is Jeff Mogwe. Thank you for joining me this morning for Monday Sports. Let's do this again on next Monday. But don't forget, we have subsequent bulletin full of sports activities across the country and abroad. Have a good morning.